It's a question that's really common. Remember, we see in the Gospels, in the Synoptic Gospels, a man comes up to Jesus and says, "Good teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" A little bit later in the Gospel of John, the crowd is going to ask Jesus and saying, "What must we do to do the things of God?" And what Jesus is relentlessly telling Nicodemus and all the people is it's not about doing something. We're talking about two different things. We're on a different page, people. Jesus is trying to say, I know what's going on inside of you. I know what the need is in the human race, in the human life. And it is not just a few more steps, a few regulations, a few principles, some ideas that you can apply into your life, and then everything's going to run smooth. If that's what you think it is, we're on completely different pages. Jesus said you need to be born again from above. When Nicodemus is baffled, he says, unless someone is born from water and the Spirit. Twice now he's speaking about a complete new birth, not adding to what's in their life, not improving what they already know, but a complete new birth. John Calvin says this, it's not an amendment to a life, or it's not an amendment of part or a part of renewal. It is rather the rebuilding and recreating of the whole person. Luther says the newness of which Jesus is speaking is not concerned what you must do or not do, but what you must become. A theologian named Rudolf Bultmann says rebirth means something more than improvement. And more than improvement in a person, in a personality. It means that a person actually receives a whole new origin. It's the idea that when we talk about what Jesus is trying to describe is it's not just a step into improvement or a better life or picking up the ideas that you can decide which will make your life better, but a complete rebirth. And the idea is so common, or so uncommon, so foreign to our minds that we just can't even grasp it. But Jesus is offering something. In fact, he's even doing more than offering. He's trying to make it as clear as he can that the Christian life is not about you doing something. It's about us believing something. And more importantly, it's about the living God falling upon us and transforming us in a way that rules and regulations, spirituality and religion could never accomplish. It's about the living God coming upon us in a power, in a way that transforms us from the inside out. And it might come in a momentous way in an instant where you're transformed and you know something has fallen upon you. It might come subtly, but you know something is different. For me, it was real subtle and quiet, but it was an awareness that this Jesus of the Bible, this Jesus of history, this guy who I thought was just dead and an old dead guy in the Bible was real. It was just this simple little awareness that as I went about my life, Jesus would be with me and that everything was different. There is a sense that nothing was the same. The colors didn't change. The people that I knew didn't change or transform. There wasn't a glow over me. And yet I knew everything was different. That the way I was to live was different. What I was called to be and to do as a Christian, I had no idea about pastoring. I was training to be a pilot at that point. Was different. And this is what Jesus is talking about. And for any of us who think that all we need is some steps to fix our life and to make our lives better and more whole by something we do, means we don't understand at all what Jesus is talking about. It's a rebirth. And that means, by definition, it's something you can't do. It's only something you can ask for. It's only something that, as he illumines, you can be aware that you need and to come to him and say, Jesus, I want you to do in me what I can never do on my own. I want you to change in me what I could never change on my own. I want you to heal in me what I could never heal on my own, through my labors and efforts, through my religion or faith, left to my own power. I want you to do the work. The Christian faith is not about religion or rituals. It's not about rules or regulations. It is about a relationship with the living God who comes and he gives himself to us. Jesus does not give you salvation. He gives you himself, and he is salvation. He does not give you holiness as if it's something that he could put inside of you and then he could leave and you're free to live your life however you want. He gives you himself and a life to be lived in intimacy with him. And as we are close to him, his saving life flows into us. His holiness flows into us. His peace flows into us. Peace, joy, righteousness, all the gifts that God gives us are not gifts he gives us so he can leave and you can be on your own without him. He gives us not gifts, but himself. And in him are all the gifts of the world. He comes personally and relationally and remakes us into something beautiful, into something we could never make on our own. And this is what John is all about. As we walk through this passage, we're going to see, or future chapters, different people change.